Hi folks, this is Blockpost, a mechanical signal box simulation, and this one is the Ford Sussex simulation, which is a station on the south coast of England, in a complex area between the lines to Portsmouth, London, Brighton, and we control the junction to Littlehampton, and our neighbouring signal boxes control the junctions to Bognor Regis and Brighton. I'm just going to start playing and explain what I'm doing as I go. It's got a bit of a vertical learning curve on this, but you'll get the idea. So, right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the level crossing by operating 9 and 10 levers. That unlocks the crossing and presumably then open it. And just before I started recording, we got the first signal, which is from Littlehampton. They rang the bell once, my attention. Click to acknowledge. 3-1 is a passenger train. So, and I can accept that the line is clear to the clearing point for Littlehampton. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And this train is Littlehampton to Ford Slough. It's a 4-car EMU, and it terminates at Ford, terminates in our loop platform, although it doesn't say that here. So I'm going to go ahead and 2 means train entering section. So I'll acknowledge that, and the instrument goes to red for train online. So to get to the loop platform we need to operate 32 points, which is this crossover, and we need to activate the facing point lock, which is 34, and when the train arrives we'll need to close the crossing. But when a train is not signalled to go straight through your section, you need to check the train at each signal as it approaches, at each home signal as it approaches, or each main signal, sorry. So we can't clear this signal until we've looked out the window. Oh, there's the train now. There's track circuit's gone red. You can see that it's not going so fast it can't stop, and if it's under control then we can release a signal. So 49 for this signal. We need to check it here for 46 signal to signal it into the loop. I'll close the crossing now. You make any mistakes on this and it comes up as an error. Leaving the crossing shut to road traffic for too long is an error. Okay, I can clear it into the platform now. 46 for now to go under here, and as soon as it's past the clearing point, which for this line is this signal post, I can tell Littlehampton, or I'll tell Landral that the train's arrived. And we can see it. It's not actually on the crossing. It's on this blue track section here. So now it's on the crossing on the green section in the platform, and it's past the signal. So acknowledge the train arriving, which is 2-1. Oh, that was a mistake. So 2-1. Now release the facing point lock, put the signals back, and put the points back, and I normally leave that facing point lock active. So this will leave in 10 minutes, and the game will, when nothing's happening, time will pass at 1 minute per second, which we might see happen in a moment. Right, let's look at the next train. The next train is Brighton to Portsmouth Harbour, so it's going to come from Arundel Junction on the main line and go thing just updated. You can sometimes get wrong information on these things when as the timetable advances. I don't know if you right, okay, what's happening? Main line wants my attention. Acknowledge. So for this, that's D1, that's a passenger train. The line needs to be clear as far as this signal, and that includes these points. So pull these points or you get an error. 1, 2, 3, 1. And it goes to green for train accepted. So the display on within the boxes are for trains I'm accepting, and the indicator above is for trains I'm sending away. So, and this second train number 2, Brighton to Portsmouth Harbour slow, 6-car EMU, stops at Ford in the main platform, in the down platform. Entering section, okay. And I'm going to call the Yapton signaller and say, can you take my train please? Passenger train 3-1. So they've accepted the train, needle's gone to green. And it's braking, I can see it's slowed down. I can pull 47 to let the train through to here. I'm going to shut the crossing now. And actually at this point I'm going to clear it all the way through to Yapton, which is fine. It doesn't, trains, once you signal the route all the way to the exit, you don't need to check the train at each signal on the way. Well, you can see it's doing 25 miles an hour. It's not out of control anyway. So right, it's past 47 signal, close that one. As soon as it's past 44, I can acknowledge its arrival. Yapton wants my attention, but I'll get to them in a second. Right. What do you want, Yapton? 1, 2, 3, 1. And overlaid with that was Arundel Main acknowledging the arrival. And let's open that crossing. The next train, number 3, is 4-car EMU to Brighton, and that is slightly more complicated because Brighton is Arundel Junction's branch. So when I send the train, I don't send it as a passenger train, I send it as a branch passenger train, which means it's 1-3 instead of 3-1. See what's happening. Okay, I'll put this back to normal. So this center panel kind of reflects what you can see by looking out the window, which was very much, how these signal boxes operated. Typically, I think you'd be able to see most of or all of the signals under your control, and the manual says they've added a couple of track circuits here to which the real box didn't have, just to make it easier for us to see as players, like where the train is. But right, so the chevrons mean the trains are both moving. Okay, so I need to tell Yapton this train's on its way. This train is going to Portsmouth, so 2, sorry, just 2. Train entering section, it should go to train online. Yep, there we go. And it's past the signal, so I can put the signal back to normal. So this train's due out in 5 minutes, and the next up train, so train 3, which is going to Brighton, is due to depart at 5:54, and the loop goes to Littlehampton at 5:55. So the next train departing is going to go from the up main platform. So 4 bells, that means train entering section, but it's a branch train. And it's a branch train because it's okay, and the train I just hadn't survived. Okay, it's a branch train because it's going to Brighton, which isn't my branch, it's the Vundel Junction's branch. So I'll get to that in a second. I'm pretty sure I need to check the train at signal 2 here. But if you do signal the train all the way through, they slow down to about 20 miles an hour there anyway, so yeah, now's okay. So trains coming from Yapton, the clearing point is signal 3 here, so to accept a train, the line needs to be clear as far as signal 3, and the points 12 and 15, they should be normal. I've not yet seen anywhere in the timetables of trains go into the up yard here. So that means we can't tell Yapton that the train's arrived until it's past the clearing point. I think it's when it's actually past the signal box and you can see the red lamp on the end to see the train's complete. Oh, it's arrived. I'm going to shut the crossing now. So okay, right. So this train is going to Brighton. So that's going to Arundel Main. Ding. And because it's a branch train for them, I send 1-3, not 3-1. Train accepted. So I'm going to signal its departure, so that's 3 and 6, and I can clear 2. We'll return 2 to normal actually. Meanwhile, the next train is the one after that is the this train going to Littlehampton, so ring the bell. And for Littlehampton it's just a normal passenger train. It's not a branch train to them, so that's 3-1. I'm not completely clear like how far in advance you're supposed to send these, make these signals. So I could be doing this all wrong. I'm just kind of partially guessing. Okay, past signal 3, so I can tell Yapton the train's arrived. And I'm going to tell Arundel Main that they've got a branch train arriving, so that's 4. And now I'll set the points for this train to depart, so that's 32 for this crossover, 33 for this crossover, 31 for the facing point lock here, and 34 for the facing point lock there. Oh, they're ready to start, how nice. Yeah, signal 6, sorry, and you need to do the signals from front to back, or the interlocking won't let you do it. So 5 is the signal for the down loop, and then 7 is the signal for 8 points. Ah, crap. Right, I should have set the points first. So I can't clear signal 7 until points 8 are released. I can't clear points 8 while signal 5 is off, so I need to wait for the train to pass over the crossover. Then I can put signal 5 on, pull 8 points, and take 7 signal off. Just checking all the instruments, like needles vertical is good to see, and when they're not vertical then you need to remember that something's happening in that direction, and have you sent have you forgotten to send a signal? Okay. So 5 back to normal. I can pull 8, I can pull 7, and Littlehampton, you've got a chain coming, and that's just a normal chain. 2. And the crossing's clear, so open the crossing as soon as possible. Wait for the train to pass the signal. I think if you... I haven't tried it, but I read somewhere that if you put the signal back to danger while the train's still passing it, the guard at the back of the train may interpret that as meaning the train should stop, and the guard then pulls the brakes. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if this game simulates that, but I just wait for the train to pass the signal before putting the signal back to normal. Right, let's put these crossovers back. There we go. What's next? Train 5 stops at Ford. 6 stops at Ford. I think I'll... Oh yeah, this train's interesting. It goes to Bognor. I think I'll keep playing as far as train 8, which doesn't stop, and that will kind of show, like, this will give it like a full flavour of what it's like to play this, to operate this signal box and play this game. Because there's a couple of videos on YouTube of people playing this, but without any voiceover, it's hard to understand what's going on. Right, Littlehampton has a train. It's an ordinary passenger train. Points 40 are normal. Line's clear, so 1, 2, 3, 1. Right. I confused it there. I thought I sent 4, not 3, 1. Which isn't ever. This train goes to Bognor, so that one is a bit weird. It took me a while to get my head around this. So Yapton Crossing is the next signal box, so we just tell them we're sending them a passenger train, but when we send it into section we use the branch line train entering section, not the normal train entering section. Ding ding. So I need to check this at 49, and I think also at 44. Actually, I can just signal it all the way through. Captain, I have a train. One, 2, 3, 1. So, yeah, telling Yapton it's a normal train. At Barnum, though, it's a branch train, and so I signal to Yapton when it's entering that it's entering as a branch train. I don't quite understand the rationale for that. But oh, go away. Check the crossing. 42. So yes, you get an error every time you try and operate a lever that's locked by the interlocking. This game is, it kind of feels like you're a probationary signaller and you've got this, someone supervised standing right behind you and rapping you on the knuckles of the ruler every time you try and do something you shouldn't. A little bit like Papers, Please in that respect, which is a good thing. I like those games. So once it's passed here, I can tell Littlehampton it survived. Once it's past the crossing, I can open it. And I don't really know when you're meant to tell the next signal box that the train's entering section. Like, is it as soon as it's past your signal box, or is it when it's approaching your final signal, or I don't know. If you do know, please leave a comment. So the next train after this goes from Brighton to Brighton, which is over here, to Portsmouth, so just a ordinary mainline train. Right, I can see it's departing the platform now, so yep, this train is going to Bognor Regis, so I tell the Upton it's a branch train, so that's 4. Train online. It's past signal 43. Okay, so and you want this one. So that's the ordinary passenger train again, a mainline stopping train. So it'll be coming along. Oh, you can actually zoom in further than I realised. What do you want, Upton? That's clear, yep. Right. Your train survived, good. Let's shut the level crossing. Can you take, please, an ordinary train? 3, 1. Good, okay. Clear all the signals for this train. Again, remembering you have to go in the direction of travel. In SimSig, I normally go the other way, like I'll set the route from here to here and then set the route from here to here, but yeah, that doesn't work with mechanical signalling. Okay, you've passed my signal box, you've arrived 2, 1. Signal 44 back to normal, I can now open the crossing. What's this train doing? This one goes to Victoria via Littlehampton, so it'll go to Littlehampton, reverse, and then carry on this way. So yeah, don't just see Victoria and send it up the main line, or you'll get an error. I don't actually know what happens if the train will stop here and say, "What are you doing, signaller?" So for me, like, the normal picture for this frame is to have the crossing open, have the facing point not 34 on or set, or I don't know, pulled back, and all these block instruments at normal, like vertical needles, and anything that's not that means, or you should pay attention to this. So right, signal 43, you're passing that now. You're past 43, back to normal. Train entering section, this is a Portsmouth train, so no, you're not. You're not a Portsmouth train. You are a Portsmouth train, yes, okay, normal train. And as soon as this track circuit clears, I'll put this signal back to normal. I think the white stripe means it's either your last signal, it means it's the last signal in your section, I think. It says 6, 7 and 42 which have that marking. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a branch train, so yep, it's going to Littlehampton. But because it's stopping, I'll set the route for it once it's ready to depart. So further down the schedule there's some empty coaching stock and a ballast train, light engine, and they have got their own bell codes rather than just 3-1 and 1-3. Right, you've arrived. So it does come up with this little caption here saying what was just signalled, TA for train arrived. It would be nice if there was like a hard mode where you just have to remember which bell was which. Right, so this train is approaching signal 2, I can clear it now. It's going to Littlehampton. The sound kind of stuttered just then, I'm not quite sure what I just heard. Right, I'm going to set the route, 8 points. So 8 points here are electrically operated, and the point motor includes a facing point mechanism, a facing point lock mechanism. Facing point locks, they were, when you've got trains, passenger trains going over points where the route diverges, they had to have a second mechanism which physically locks the point blades in place to stop them moving, or to reduce the chance they're going to move underneath the passenger train and derail it. And that's what these blue levers are about. But when you've got power operated points like this one here is, which is quite a long way away over a river, yeah, the point motor does that for you, so you don't need a second lever for it. Right, so Littlehampton has accepted the train. Well, I say Littlehampton, it's Arundel Junction, but and I can set that route now, so that is 3 and 7. Got the following train, but I can see it here in the train status thing, so I guess it means I can see it out the window over the plains of Sussex. But they're going to, as soon as I tell Yapton that this train's passed, they're going to ask if I can take the next train. So I'm going to tell Littlehampton first that their train's on its way. And Yapton, your train has arrived. So they immediately replied with the one for, can I take the next train? So which I can. And the next train, number 8, goes straight to Brighton non-stop, so I'm going to immediately ask Arundel Junction if they can take it. And because it's a branch train for Arundel Junction, I send it through as 1-3, not 3-1, for a branch passenger train. And because it's not stopping, I'm going to set the entire route 2, 3, 6, and the distance signal. And I may have jumped the gun a bit here. I think I have jumped the gun a bit here, because now the crossing is still closed. So that might result in a bit of an unnecessary wait for motorists. Well, they can live with it. Enjoy the majestic sight of a two-bill wandering past at I was going to say 70 miles an hour, but this slows down to about 35 for the station, I think. Yep, here it comes. So I got this a couple of days ago and have had a lot of fun with it. I've just bought the another panel, which is the Barnum signal box, which is the one down the road here. So looking forward to playing that. Right, distant first and 2. I'm going to tell Arundel they've got a branch train arriving, so 4. Oh, I think I got an email. I think that's probably my registration code for Barnum, so I'll go straight into that. And open the crossing. And as soon as I've passed signal 6 here, I'll clear that signal. Well, not clear that signal. Put the signal back on again. Great. Well, yep, I think that will do for this video. Thanks for watching. Please, if this looks like your cup of tea, please do go to the Blockpost software and have a look. You can download any of the panels and play for 10 minutes or so, but without that doesn't give you access to the manuals, which makes it a bit harder, or the bell code references either. So but you could probably make a go of fraud based on what you've seen in this video. So yep, thanks so much for watching.